Jamaal Williams, the perfect complementary running back here in Detroit. Let's Talk Lions. Welcome back to an all-new episode here at Let's Talk Lions. My name is Jay. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for also liking this video. You doing that pumps it up Arnold Schwarzenegger style. Today I want to do a deeper dive into Jamaal Williams and really his role here in Detroit as a complementary running back. Of all the offseason signings, this one here has got to be my favorite move that the Lions made. Look, I understand that Green Bay could not afford to keep both Aaron Jones and Jamaal Williams, so their loss is our gain, literally. Two of the major things that I want to talk about today are A, his stats in Green Bay and how that'll translate to him as a complementary running back here in Detroit, and the culture shift that comes along with Williams. So let's get into it. So first, let's kick it off with what he was able to accomplish in Green Bay. Williams was signed back in 2017 with the Packers, actually the same year that the Packers also got Aaron Jones. Pretty quickly, Williams found himself in a supporting role in Green Bay. He really was the Aaron to the Moses type of situation, right? There's Moses out there holding up his arms all night, making sure the Israelites win the battle. But lest we forget, Aaron is also out there holding up Moses' arms. Well, that's kind of what Jamaal Williams is for us and was in Green Bay, a solid secondary running back. When you look at Williams' stats, he played a vital role. He had over 100 rushing attempts each season. He averaged putting up 450 plus yards, and really over his 4 years in Green Bay, he averaged out at about 496 yards per season. You're looking at an average of 4 yards a carry and about 27 first downs converted while rushing the football. But another great strength that comes with Williams is him being a viable passing option. He averaged out at about 30 receptions per game. Nope, he did not per game. He averaged out at about 30 receptions per season during his stint in Green Bay. So you're looking at about 1 to 2 receptions per game. And he put up a solid amount of yardage as a passing option. Each season, he put up over 200 receiving yards. During his time in Green Bay, he had 8 receiving TDs. Meanwhile, he had 10 rushing TDs, fairly close. And he also had a total of 50 first downs converted on passing plays. And when all is said and done, Jamaal Williams, whether it be passing or rushing, never coughed up the football. That's a huge deal. 0 fumbles in his 4 years. Now, a lot of people might look and say, well, he never broke 600 yards per season. He never broke that number. He was always in between 450, 550. That's not good enough. And where I would say, sure, I understand what you're saying. You look at AP, who was our leading rusher last year, and he barely put up over 600 yards rushing. So now, that's not a knock at AP. I love AP. I love what that man has done in his career. Those stats, whether it's receiving, whether it's rushing, they're great. They're great for a complimentary running back. However, the number one thing that I really love about Jamaal Williams is he's not afraid to lay a block. According to PFF, Jamaal Williams was one of the better pass blocking running backs out there. He was never afraid of laying a block for Rodgers, and he's going to do the same for Goff. Plus, the addition of Deuce Staley being the running backs coach here, we know how important it is to Deuce for these running backs to be able to offer pass protection for the quarterback. I love that. Jamaal Williams fits that bill. A perfect complementary back. I took a little bit of time, did some research, and I looked up. Bucky Brooks put out this article about the top 5 RB1 and 2 duos in the league coming into this year. And I looked at a lot of these RB2s. Specifically, I checked out 3 guys: Latavius Murray, Tony Pollard, and Kenyon Drake. Between these 3 guys, I ended up looking at each one of their stats and comparing them to Jamaal Williams. I don't want to get too deep into the weeds, but just for the sake of this video, I do want to look at a few things. First and foremost, let's look at Latavius Murray in the last 3 years. He averaged at about 144 attempts, 623 yards, 5 rushing TDs, 26 receptions, 184 receiving yards, and 1 receiving touchdown. All of that is an average over the last 3 years. Well, then you move on to Tony Pollard and his averaging for the last 2 years. You're looking at about 93 attempts, 445 yards, 4.8 yards per carry, 3 TDs, 21 receptions, 150 receiving yards, and 1 TD. Finally, Kenyon Drake in his last 2 seasons, you're looking at about 181 attempts, 799 yards, an average of 4.6 yards per carry, 9 TDs, 26 receptions, 154 receiving yards, and 0 receiving touchdowns. What you're seeing here is a sample of comparable RB2s to Jamaal Williams, where these guys, I think, edge out Williams when it comes to the rushing side of the game. I believe that looking at the stats, Williams edges them out on the receiving side of the game. That's where we see him excel a lot, not to mention his pass blocking. Looking at Jamaal Williams as a pass blocker and as a receiving running back, that's where he edges out these guys, and he is a phenomenal complementary RB2, specifically here in Detroit, to DeAndre Swift. I'm thankful that we signed him to a 2-year deal. I'm not going to lie. I wish that we had signed him to a 3-year deal, lock him down for a little bit longer. But you know what? I wish for a lot of things. I would love to have a beer with Jamaal Williams, play a little D&D. I'd also love to get back my Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card that I traded for a can of Sprite when I was 10 years old. But you can't have everything you want. I have learned it the hard way these past few decades. Life doesn't work like that. For a can of Sprite, wasn't even a can of Coke, which it still wouldn't be, doesn't compute, but, you know. Yeah, that was a mistake. Now, taking a step back from the statistics, taking a step back from all that we've seen him do in the course of his career, one of the most vibrant parts of who Williams is, one of the biggest things that he brings to the table, is his attitude. Williams' attitude is exactly what we need here in Detroit. For the longest time, it has felt like, as a fan, when people get brought into Detroit, it's felt like the players just sort of have this attitude of, I don't want to be here, sucks that I'm going to Detroit, at least I'm making a paycheck. And I'm not saying that's how people actually, I'm not saying that's what they were saying, but what I am trying to get across is that's what it has felt like as a fan. That has been the vibe. And for the first time coming into this new regime, players like Jamaal Williams are really showing how thankful they are for the opportunity. Jamaal Williams himself said it. His attitude is absolutely intoxicating, and it's what we need in the locker room in order to shift these guys' hearts and minds to say, wow, this could be a winning team, to create a winning culture from the inside out, from the locker room first. I love this move, the Jamaal Williams move. Favorite of the offseason. Well done, Detroit Lions. This is one that I really think we will never be hurt by. You know, sometimes you make that move in the offseason and it comes back to bite you. This one will not. This is a move that the Detroit Lions made that I stand by and will stand by because I think his attitude speaks volumes. That is huge for these young guys coming in. I look at the Amon-Ra St. Browns, the Levi Onwuzurikes. You got these young guys getting drafted. And when you see a guy like Jamaal Williams, who's been in the NFL since 2017, this will help shape their mindsets. Williams is the perfect complementary for DeAndre Swift. He will allow DeAndre Swift the opportunity to excel as an RB1 because you have a phenomenal RB2 slotted who can catch, who can rush, and who can lay some blocks. Give DeAndre Swift the breather that he needs. I love Jamaal Williams. I love his attitude. Love the stats that back him up. He is going to be a vital, vital part to this Detroit Lions offense. Not to mention, he's going to look good in that color rush gray uniform. Just saying. So that's it. Those are my thoughts on Jamaal Williams being the perfect complementary back for the Detroit Lions. Drop your thoughts in the comments. How do you guys feel about it? Let me know. I look forward to reading it. And as always, I'll catch you next time on Let's Talk Lions.